The MiG family is one of the biggest in the game, including more than 20 aircraft used by different nations. This is a hell of a heritage, especially for a jet. Let's start with the MiG-3, created by the Mikoyan and Gurevich Design Bureau in 1940. This bird was heavily used by the Soviet Air Force right up until the start of the jet era. There are 3 variants of the MiG-3 currently in the game. Performance-wise, they're pretty much the same. What sets them apart is their armament. The MiG-3 Pfm is equipped with 2 SCAS machine guns as well as a single UBS machine gun. The MiG-3 Pfm BK has all of the above and 2 additional high-caliber UBK machine guns. Finally, the MiG-3 34 is armed with 2 SCVAC cannons. By 1944, it was clear that the new type of engine was a must. The MiG was an interceptor, heavily reliant on its ability to fly and climb really fast. And even the most advanced piston engines available at the time were no longer up to the task. Not to mention that there was intel coming in about Germany, Britain, and the US investing in the development of jet engines. The USSR was obviously not going to just watch the auction from the sidelines. After the end of the war, with lots of captured engines coming into the Union, the Soviets quickly started to mass-produce the Jumo 004 and the BMW 003 engines. The latter, under the designation RD-20, Reaktivny Dvigatel, or jet drive, was installed on the MiG-9, one of the first ever Soviet jets, also available as part of the Chinese tech tree. This was a pretty fast and well-armed aircraft, perfect for intercepting something like the American Flying Fortress. A late variant of the very same MiG-9 was tested with an improved version of the RD-20 engine, giving the jet a noticeable boost in both speed and climb rate. But there wasn't much point in mass-producing it, as a much more advanced MiG-15 was almost ready to hit the skies. For the new jet fighter, it was pretty much smooth sailing from the get-go. Thanks to its low weight and a powerful RD-45F engine, it climbed very well and could reach the speeds of more than 1,000 kph. It doesn't mean that it was completely without flaws, though. For example, the MiG-15 had pretty stiff controls, with pilots controlling most systems manually and relying on raw muscle power to operate flying surfaces. While something like that wasn't exactly a deal-breaker on a piston airplane, it certainly made it much more difficult to control a jet aircraft routinely operating at significantly higher speeds. Not to mention that it also made sudden high-speed maneuvers much harder, if not impossible. Later, the RD-45 engine was replaced with an improved version called VK-1 that wasn't any bigger in size but produced more thrust, meaning that it was very easy to install on a MiG-15. The variant of the jet fitted with the VK-1 was called the MiG-15 Biz. It had an even more impressive rate of climb, making it an even better boom and zoom aircraft, which can often get an altitude advantage over its competition in a game. Furthermore, the jet finally had a hydraulic booster unit incorporated into its control system, which slightly improved its handling at high speeds. It's worth mentioning that the MiG-15 Bis was also produced in China, where it received the designation J2. Then there is also the MiG-15 Biz-ish, a curious fighter-bomber conversion found in the premium part of the tree. This variation of the jet is fitted with huge weapon pylons, with triple tandem weapon racks mounted on each pylon in a line and at a downward-facing angle. This design allowed the aircraft to carry significantly more ordnance without sacrificing much of its performance, and fire rockets at ground targets in level flight. Soviet engineers felt that they had a good thing going with the MiG-15, so they quickly decided to build a considerably improved successor. They gave the aircraft a dual-sweep wing, which made the jet faster, and fitted it with a bigger tail fin and bigger air brakes, improving its handling. Soon, the new aircraft went into production under the service designation of the Mig-17. By the way, in the premium part of the Soviet tree, you can also find the Mig-17 AS variant with Cuban markings. All in all, it's not that different from the main production model, but it can carry 2 air-to-air missiles, giving it a bit of an edge in air engagements. The Chinese tech tree has 2 variations of this aircraft. The J-4 is a Chinese version produced under license for local use, and the premium F-5 is a North Korean copy of the MiG-17F, fitted with an upgraded engine with an afterburner. Then we have the truly supersonic MiG-19S. It's obviously not the first production model of the MiG-19, but rather a variant featuring an all-moving slab tail. It became the most produced version of the MiG-19 and was also available for export. In War Thunder, this jet fighter represents the Air Force of East Germany and is found in the German tech tree. In 1958, Soviet engineers got their hands on an American Sidewinder Missile, a very important event in the history of the Soviet missile construction technology. The military quickly realized the potential of homing missiles and demanded that the upcoming MiG-21 F-13 should be capable of carrying air-to-air missiles. Keep in mind that the development of the MiG-21 began even before the first ever production MiG-19s rolled off the factory floor. The new fighter was to receive a new engine and delta wings, allowing it to achieve Mach 2 at high altitudes. And it was also equipped with modern weapon systems so that it could pull its weight in a fight. Speaking of armaments, the Chinese variant of this aircraft, the J-72, comes with an additional 30mm gun. It wasn't just the new MiG that received air-to-air missiles. The good old MiG-19 was still in service and also got in on the fun. The variant, modified to carry missiles, received the designation MiG-19PT, or J-6A if we're speaking about the Chinese license-built version found naturally in the Chinese tech tree. The Chinese didn't stop there, by the way. They also used the MiG-19 formula to build their own Q-5 and Q-5 Fantan jet attack aircraft. The air intakes were moved to the fuselage sides, drastically altering the familiar appearance of the MiG-19, and new pylons were provided so that the Q-5 could carry more ordnance. An early Fantan variant even had a proper bomb bay. But let's get back to the MiG-21. Most of its upgrades were all about outfitting the jet with a better engine. But Soviet engineers knew really well that there was no such thing as enough firepower. For example, the MiG-21 MF, which was an export German variation, got an excellent twin-barrel 23mm autocannon and was modified to carry up to 4 air-to-air missiles. Another version of this fighter jet available in the game is the Mig-21 Smt. It's pretty similar to the previous model, but has a more powerful engine and greater fuel capacity. Then there is the Mig-21 Pfm, a gift vehicle that was given out as a reward for that Operation WINTER event. In War Thunder, the Mig-21 Pfm is a further development of the F-13 version, but has its own unique range of payload options, including the Ha-66 air-to-surface missile with an operational range of 10 kilometers. All in all, the Pfm is a nice ground attack jet with excellent performance. Finally, here is the most advanced version of the MiG-21 available in the game, the definitive variant found at the very top of the Soviet tech tree, the Mig-21 Bis. Thanks to a brand new engine, it has an even crazier climb rate, more ammo for its primary gun, and can carry up to 6 air-to-air missiles. Not to mention that it is quite a lot of options in the ground attack role as well. All in all, it's hardly surprising that this fish bed is still seeing extensive use around the world. Okay guys, that's it for today. Tell us please which is your favorite MiG. And, by the way, tell us in the comments below. We'd love to know.